Back out doing wildlife photography today. Just got done shooting some elk in velvet, and was driving up the road towards a mountain pass, and I passed my favorite animal. Check this out. We've got mama moose and yearling moose over there. Not a baby, but a yearling moose. I was just driving by and I saw these two, so I thought I'd have to get out and get a shot. The road's right behind me. I'm trying to stay quiet, but they're very, very calm. They're by a road. They expect people to be here, and they're actually calm enough to let me get my tripod set up down here by the water. Now, be careful around these animals. These animals are large. They're dangerous. They've been known to hurt people, but I'm doing it safely. I've got water between me and them. They're not going to feel like I'm moving in on them across this water, and they're in a very calm state. Now, I'm monitoring them all the time to make sure that they are maintaining that calm state and that I'm both not disturbing them or getting too close. Now, they're feeding towards me. If they feed towards me too much more, I'm gonna get back up the hill and go back to the truck, because moose can be dangerous. So as long as I've got these animals nice and calm out in front of me and a nice safe distance away from them, I want to show you what I'm doing. I have my Nikon Z7 out here, and I have the 500mm PF. I also have a 1.4 times teleconverter on there, so I'm actually shooting this at 700mm equivalent right now. And of course I have to have an adapter to put this lens on the Z mount on the camera. Now, I've got the teleconverter on there because the whole goal is to fill the frame with what you want to shoot. In this case, 700mm just happens to fill the frame perfectly for both of these two because they're about the same distance. Now, I don't usually like using the teleconverter. You do lose some quality in there, but in this case, since I'm filling the whole frame and I have decent lighting, it's not bad. Now, here's my settings. Go back to the moose so I can keep an eye on her. You can hear the traffic going by in the background. That's why these moose are allowing me to be so close to them. This is a non-threatening environment for them. They're used to people being here. But look at my settings. Now I'm shooting 1/1000th of a second. That's to make sure I take any shake and vibration out of this shot. I've got the lens set to sport mode, and now I've got my f-stop down at f8. Go back to the moose. f8 is as wide open as I can get using the teleconverter on this lens. So I would go more open if I could, but I'm just not capable of it. Now, you can see auto ISO flashing there, and that's exactly what I want it to do. That's set in auto ISO, so as the light comes in and out of these clouds, I know I'm going to be getting the proper exposure because auto ISO is adjusting it for me. Now, you saw I was shooting around ISO 1600. Depending on how the clouds are coming in and out, that ISO has been bouncing around between ISO 800 to about ISO 2000, and that's going to give me a nice shot of these moose. Ooh, that was exciting. I don't know what she's doing. Hopping up on a little ridge there. Ooh, makes me nervous. Yeah, if they come any closer, I'm gonna get out of their way. Oh, I'm missing cool stuff. Look at her shaking off. These animals are so cool. But anyway, using auto ISO in manual mode so I can choose my aperture and shutter speed is perfect for this kind of conditions. Now, something else to notice is the position of my camera. I'm down low and at eye level with these moose. Whenever they raise their head, this camera's right at eye level with them. So I'm not up on the road shooting down at them, which I usually would be in the case that I couldn't get too close, or they were too skittish to let me get out of the truck. But here I'm able to get to the eye level, and it gives you a much more personal feeling to your photos. Photos shot from way up above just feel too distant. It doesn't feel as like you're in the photo. So basically what I'm trying to say is composition is still important when it comes to wildlife photography. Make sure that you are positioning yourself in the best way to get the animals and portray them in the way that you see them. So that's all I have for you right now, just some settings tips and a pretty scene here in Montana. I'm gonna get back to shooting photos of these two gals and keep my eye on them. They're moving closer. I think my time with them's just about done. I definitely don't want to disturb them or scare them, startle them. So thanks for joining me.